I went broke. So broke that I had to sell my car and I had no money. And that was the time I realized that maybe I'm doing something which is not right. Number one, I didn't know what to do. Number two, I had no money and nobody to guide. हमें तो तब दो पे दुनिया की होप है. And I realized I don't know so many things about business. MSME founders से ज़्यादा मेहनत कोई नहीं करता. उन्हें वो pinpoint नहीं, उन्हें diagnosis कभी किया नहीं. Everybody doesn't like Salman Khan, some like Shah Rukh, some like Akshay. As simple as that. You should be visible. दिखता है तो बिकता है. Credibility, people see you enough, they start trusting you. And lead generation. I build people, people build my business. You must have the right team with right skill sets. Once you have it, you win.
Building a business today is exciting, but also exhausting. A lot of founders are working harder than ever, yet still feeling stuck. So today in this conversation, we are decoding why that happens and what actually helps businesses grow structurally. And joining me in this conversation is entrepreneur, author, and business growth coach, Dr. Ameet Parekh. Dr. Parekh, so good to have you with us. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Namaste.
Dr. Parekh, if I'm correct here, you have built businesses yourself. And now that you're working very closely with MSMEs, but let me first ask you, first thing first, when did this transition into business coaching happen and what was the spark behind it?
So, I come from a corporate background. I worked many years into various organizations, telecom, banking. And then, of course, I wanted to do something on my own. And I jumped into the world of business. Now, I didn't succeed, to be very honest. And my businesses failed. Not only one, actually two businesses failed back to back. And I went broke. So broke that I had to sell my car and I had no money. And that was the time I realized that maybe I'm doing something which is not right. It is very easy when I look behind and say, you know, what happened and how I tackled it. But at that time, it was very tough. Number one, I didn't know what to do. Number two, I had no money and nobody to guide. Yeah. And then in one of the conversations with a few people, somebody told me that you are not trained to do business. From entire your corporate life, your education, everything has been trained to do jobs well. So can there be a situation where you don't know actually how to do business? Is that possible? And of course, I didn't really agree to the person in front of him.
Initially.
Yeah. And later on, I thought कि यार कुछ तो दम है बंदे की बात में कि मतलब हमें तो तब दो पे दुनिया की होप है मगर जब सिचुएशन देखते तो पैसा बन नहीं रहा business is not working. And that time I met a few trainers, coaches, which took me to a journey of learning, coaching, working on myself, which I had never done in my corporate life. My corporate life after my MBA was just work, experience and grow. There was nothing called self-development there. And when I got introduced to this, I realized that there is a zone called I don't know that I don't know. And I realized I don't know so many things about business. Of course, it was not just one day didn't know, another next day I was there. But then I started moving. Yeah. And over a period of time, I understood what was wrong. And I started correcting it. Now, I was a sales guy in my corporate life. Okay. And I was very good at it. But I didn't know about marketing. I didn't know about operations. I didn't know about KRA KPI building. I didn't know about team building and so many other things.
Right.
Once I started learning all that with the help of coaches and teachers and courses, I was able to understand business world better. And then the business which I did after that actually worked.
And that was?
First businesses which didn't work was in management consultancy, I was doing financial consultancy, I was doing HR consultancy, it didn't work. Then I got into training, of course, which is my forte also. And I did it well. So we started a kids training academy, which actually worked out very well. In fact, there was a time when we were doing seminars and we didn't have space in the hall. And our workshops were full, we were refusing people were on a wait list. So this kind of transformation from being broke to this actually happened when I actually learned. And I submitted myself to many coaches and many trainers, not one. And of course, as they say, slowly and steadily, we got a hang of it. And when I started building my business, we were actually going out and acquiring associates. Now, the game was like this. These associates help us grow our business, and they also become kind of partners. Like how you have agents,
Yes.
DSs.
Yeah.
So they came from my background. None of them knew how to do business. So they became partners, excited about, and I used to run a program that time which called how to grow your income. So they wanted to grow their income, but they didn't know how.
How?
So then I started training them. When I started training them, many of them succeeded. But they all were associated with that one business I was doing, was a kids training academy.
Right.
Then came the step number 2. I said, if I can help them, why don't I go help people who are actually doing other businesses?
True.
And the journey started.
So-
and here we are.
So that's when the MSME came into the
Yes,
picture?
yes,
Because
yes.
I was very curious, why MSME? What was the direction? Okay, now this is the territory I want to get into.
See, I'll tell you the difference between corporates and MSME. Corporates have got, when they reach a certain stage, they have got the kind of money to hire the right resources.
Yes.
MSME businessman is actually alone, to be very honest. I mean, ab sab baat kar lo. Ultimately, he only has to make it happen. Make it or break it is only up to him. He can't hire maybe a sales head by paying 2 lakh, 3 lakh salary. He can't hire another marketing head paying 2 lakh, 3 lakh salary. He cannot hire a operation head paying 2. If you add this, it will be a crore and a half budget in salary itself.
Yeah.
उतना तो कमाता नहीं है.
Correct.
Salary कैसे देगा? So then he's dependent on himself and he doesn't know how to do business. So then I said, let me go and serve the people who are not served by anybody else. There are many corporate trainers. There are many corporate programs people are running and they're going on successfully. But that place was already full. So I don't want to go somewhere where there are many people already working. I said, let's go and serve the people who are underserved.
Which is another niche actually.
Very big niche.
Because MSMEs का जितना मैं जानता हूँ, उनकी जितनी problems होती है, इतना verbally discuss नहीं होती है. You know that there are MSMEs
Yes.
existing, but then nobody talks about the real pain points.
Nobody does.
So when you say this, so I'm sure you've worked with multiple clients from different industries and different backgrounds. What is that one common pattern that you noticed in all of your clients?
In a sense,
Initially, when you reached
what's
out,
missing in their business?
what was the missing factor? Or what was the factor that they were not really focusing on at that really point?
There are a bunch of things. I mean, it's not just one thing which is missing. See, the biggest challenge is the MSMEs, first of all, don't know why things are not working. उन्हें वो pinpoint नहीं, उन्हें diagnosis कभी किया नहीं, उन्हें कभी पता लगाया नहीं, ना उनके साथ कोई बैठा, ना वो किसी से बैठे. तो the point is that they don't know why they are not getting the results. So they might know the symptoms,
Yeah.
but they don't know the cause. And they don't know how to do cause analysis. So I've got MSMEs who are stuck in a certain area. Let's say sales being stagnated. Let's say 150 crore sale and it's not growing.
Okay.
Okay? The question is why? So they say, I have a sales guy, I have a sales manager. Yes, of course, they have scripts. Of course, we have CRM and all the basics are there. But their ability to find out why sales is not growing or why operation is leaking, why efficiency is not there, why profitability is not what they actually assume it is, they are not able to do the diagnosis. They don't know the actual cause. If you don't know the root cause, what do you treat? Like in medical science, let me tell you. Bukhar hai aapko, if you're feverish, now you can have a dolo or whatever, and your fever might get managed. But if you don't know the cause of fever, which could be an infection,
Yeah.
how do you treat it? The dolo will help you for some time, but dolo will not remove the infection. So you need to find the root cause and treat the root cause. That's why doctors do diagnostic tests. In business world, in MSME, there is no root cause analysis. Zero. Nobody does it. They just have some symptom and they go take some medicine for the symptom and they hope and pray that things will be okay.
Which could be temporary also. You don't know if it's for the long run. or
Sometimes
short
they get
run.
result. Sometimes suppose they put a CRM. For some time they see a little bit benefit.
Yeah.
But since they've not found the root cause and addressed that, the problem comes back in some other form. आपने बुखार ठीक किया तो पेट खराब हो जाएगा. I mean, something will happen because you're not treated. So MSME's biggest problem, which I see with everybody, that they have got challenges. They know the symptoms, but they don't know the root cause.
So once they know the root cause, say for example, let's
Okay.
talk about the solution here, and I'm sure
Okay.
you also must have got this a lot. Initially phase mein jab when you reach out to the MSMEs, they must be also asking, ki, Dr. Parekh, how is your approach different from the generic motivational videos that we see nowadays? Everybody is listening to. How is your approach different from those online videos that we see every day?
See, first of all, so I'll divide the answer in two parts, please. First of all, motivation is needed. I mean, there is no one can say that you don't need to be motivated. But how I see business owners, okay, from my perspective, I am running my own business which is not doing well. I am very well motivated. मेरा धंधा नहीं चल रहा है, मुझे एक्सटर्नल मोटिवेशन थोड़ी चाहिए, ये तो ऐसे भी हालत खराब है. So I am highly motivated to solve it. So I don't think that business owners have a problem of motivation. They have a problem of consistency. They have a problem of discipline. They have a problem of application. But they don't have a problem of motivation. वो तो motivated है क्योंकि उनकी खुद की तकलीफ है. They are not taking enough money home, so they are having a problem and they are motivated to solve it. So second thing is what you learn from a lot of videos. Again, there's no right and wrong. Some of the people who are talking those videos are talking a lot of sense. See, understand. What is out there on YouTube or Instagram or any of these platforms, they are talking a lot of sense. But to be able to decipher whether this makes sense for my problem or not, that ability is not there, no. So I might listen to something which might be very exciting. बड़ा बढ़िया सुनने में लगा. But does it solve my problem? It's generic, right?
Yes.
So it might be good, but since it is not meant for you, it's like, it's very dangerous to apply that. And that's what many people do. They listen to something, they get motivated, then they hear a guru talking about some great thing, say pricing strategy, they apply the pricing strategy without even thinking whether it will work for me, is it my industry, is it my market? There are many things. Business size is one.
Yeah.
Industry is another. Product is another. Your target customer is another. Until everything matches, that will not work for you. So you need one-on-one guidance.
It's like that one size fits all approach wala is wrong. It's not applicable everywhere.
How will it be? I mean, you had fever, you took one medicine. I am having fever, I am taking the same medicine. Will it work? Maybe yes, maybe no. I don't know.
But here the stakes are quite high. It's not as simple as having fever because the industry is there itself.
Exactly.
But so now that you say this, because I believe a lot of founders are still working incredibly hard, day in and day out to find those solutions. Yet there comes a time where they feel stuck. Why do you think that happens so often?
See, effort is no problem. Everybody is putting effort. I mean, I'm not saying these guys, anybody is lazy. I'm not saying that they're not, as I earlier said, they are highly motivated. So they're highly motivated. They're hardest working people in the room. MSME founders se zyada mehnat koi nahi karta. Because sometimes they open the shop and they close the shop until the whole day they're working. Sometimes, what when we meet them, we say, you work the hardest, longest hours, and you get paid the last, and sometimes you get paid the least. So what an amazing business you are in. You work the most and you get paid the last and sometimes the least.
And unappreciated.
Totally. Because there's nobody to put a pat on your back. So let me help you understand with an example. Let's say a medical doctor. It takes him 4 years to complete MBBS, 1 year for resident, 1 year for senior resident, and then some more time, and then he can actually practice. Now, if somebody else who has just read some book or gone through some video decides that I want to be a doctor and do all that, it's not possible. No. So most of them MSMEs are not trained because there is no such forum, program, platform which can train them to solve those problems. So they start a business untrained and they are doing their best. Some things work out, some things don't. That's what it's more of trial and error which they are doing. And sometimes it feels very expensive.
It is.
Because not only your time is going, your opportunity costs are going, you're missing out on life, you have no time for family life or anything. Most of the MSMEs have got, they go for a vacation and they're answering phone calls and replying to emails.
There's no work-life balance nowadays.
Zero. There's no concept only of work-life balance. They don't understand that only. Because phone aega na, sab maal nahi pahuncha. He has to answer.
Yeah. He cannot miss a call.
He cannot miss it. Yeah. The customer will go to somebody else. That is his fear. So they are not trained. That is why they are not able to find the solution.
But I'm very curious. I'm sorry to break you here. On the same note,
Yeah.
कई बार founders ये भी कहते हैं मैं 2 दिन अगर business छोड़ के चला जाऊँ ना business रुक जाएगा.
Correct.
Do you feel with time it's become so much business founder oriented, like it's so much dependent on the founders that they don't have the time to think strategically at the same time?
You are right. You are right. They are so busy doing tactical work. So that's the difference. So there are two kinds of role you can play. One is tactical, which is day to day. Morning you come, check your sales, speak to your sales guys, drive them. Then you go to customer service, you speak to your customers, you look at your delivery, you look at your accounts and your payments, and by the time it's already 5 o'clock. Founders I've seen, so what I do with them, I tell them, okay, end of the day, you sit for 10 minutes and think that how did your day go? They say just rush through. Every morning to night, they're starting and ending with nothing important being done. Now there's a difference. Critical, they handle everything. Now what is critical? What needs to be done today? Sales problem, customer problem, vendor problem, employee, all this has to be tackled today, all these problems, right? Something which they need to create, say KR and KPI, say dashboard for tracking sales, say how to improve efficiency. इसके लिए time ही नहीं है. They have no time for all this. So yes, they are firefighting, they're working day in, day out, and they're not able to solve the problem of the future. They're only solving the problem of today. तो आज में जीते हैं. Daily wages होता है ना, आज कमाया आज खाया, ये चल रहा है.
And that too in the stature of being a founder.
Yes.
वो जो line है, being busy is not always being productive.
Correct.
I think this is where
Very
it comes.
True. Very true. In fact, I call it busyness. They are not doing business. They are doing busyness. So,
but now that you say this, so on a ratio, how much of the stress comes from this lack of system or delegation?
100%. 100% of stress in their life is because they don't have a system, they don't have a process. Now, since you don't have a system and process, that means you are the one who's driving it. See, in corporates, what happened? Everything there's a system, everything there's process. There are people for everything, and the people do the work they're supposed to do. Right?
Yeah.
They have got reporting formats. Every morning they come, they do their reporting. Every evening they go, they do reporting. The managers check their dashboard reporting. Everything is going fine. Something is not going fine, they address it. So they have a complete system. They have executive, they have supervisors, they have managers, they have senior managers, so on and so forth. But here, this guy is everything. He is the one who opens office also. He is the one who makes sure delivery is open. Everything is doing. Even if he has got team, he is the one who is working. Team have become glorified secretaries. They bring the work, they give it to him. Sir, what need to be done? Sir, what need to be done? Whole day, sir is solving somebody else's problem. Why? No system, no processes defined, no authority given, no decision-making power delegated, no review structure, no execution rhythm. If you don't put all this, then you will be doing every day same thing.
So as corporates are very organized, this is kind of scattered.
Correct.
And you can't even compliment the person here that you're a man of many talents because it's not needed at that place.
Correct.
From what I take from you.
Correct.
But sir, don't you think in this entire process, many a times we see that founders are very, hesitant in asking for help or seeking guidance. Why do you think that happens?
See, one point is that most people don't know that this kind of help is available. I mean, I'm not even aware कि ऐसी help होती है. So then I feel like जहाँ मैं हूँ, I need to find some solution. There is who will help me. I mean, in this. So if I want to do maybe learn computer language, Java, for example, there's a course I can attend. I know that. But if I want to improve efficiency of my business, I don't even know that there is a course I can attend. Somewhere here and there I hear from someone, I read something, say, oh, acha, something like this is also possible. Oh, let me go and see. People who come to us, they say that, oh, somebody is there like this. I didn't even know. Otherwise, I would have approached. So that is one point. Second, they also have a thought that how will somebody else help me in my business? How does the person know about my business? My business, I am not able to solve the problem. After being in the business for let's say 5 years, how a stranger who lives somewhere else, does something else, is going to solve my problem? You see, it is very unbelievable kind of thing to them.
And it's not coming from a place of arrogance?
I I don't think so. I think
Lack
it's,
of awareness.
Yeah, I think it's lack of awareness and lack of belief that is somebody can help me like that. Let's look at this. This guy, understanding, is running his business. His things are stuck. He doesn't know why. If somebody comes and tell me that okay, this person who's doing something else can help you. He says, "Arey, my product, my services, my operations, my factory, my purchase, my vendors, my delivery, my customers, my post-sales interaction. How will somebody else guide me?"
And from a different background altogether.
Who has never done my work. Suppose I am a ball bearing manufacturer. How do I know that a business coach who is working in financial service can help me in my ball bearing manufacturing business? So what I explain them, I'll tell you also. So what I tell them is this. I said, see, in business there are two parts. One part is business domain, which is what your business is, your product and services, your internal processes. That is your domain. Like I have a finance background, so my domain is finance. Somebody is manufacturer, somebody is trading, somebody export import, somebody is a real estate developer. So everybody has a domain. So domain is one part. And the second part, where actually people go wrong, is called business function, which is marketing, sales, operation, customer service, training, HR, accounts, legal, leadership, all these things. These can be taught by somebody who doesn't come from your industry also, because these are common for everybody. Okay, of course it requires tweaking. So the coaching has to be one-on-one, not in a classroom. Again, in classroom it doesn't work. In classroom there are 30 businesses with 30 different marketing setups. You can't teach the same thing. They can get a basic idea, but when you have to work with them, it has to be one-on-one. But that's the difference between domain and function. We are business function experts. That's why we are able to help them.
So that's why hands-on one-to-one approach is more needed. But sir, in your experience that you've worked with so many people, do you feel sometimes, in India, as we've seen, stress and overload jo hota hai, usko accept kar dete hain. Okay, this is something a part of your life. Do you think sometimes founder also accept this chaos as part of this entrepreneurship process than actually solving the real issue?
Correct. I mean, what you're saying is right. Okay, let me give you an example. When I say in Mumbai to someone that you travel by a local train, right? I mean, I think that's one of the most chaotic things you can do in your life, right? People who don't live in Bombay don't understand that. But people who live in Bombay, they know what is local train. So, but when you get used to it, then you're used to it. I mean, there's nothing right or wrong about it. I mean, of course, some days is more difficult than the other days. But since you do not know that there could be any other option, you learn to adjust, accommodate, and be a part of that. Sometimes people tell me, 20 rupees, you travel by a local train. You'll get steam, sauna, massage free.
Well said.
So they get used to it. And when you have to get down, people put you down. You just stand on the way. You want to get up, stand on the way, they'll put you up. I mean, this kind of service you'll not get in 20 rupees.
Live drama that you get to see every day. Yes. So they've accepted that part of the chaos.
Yeah. And until somebody shows you that there's a better way, you live whatever life you started living. Somebody used to come and say, ki aisa bhi ho sakta hai. And then you say, oh, really? And that's where that disbelief also comes in. That really? What you're telling can really happen? I mean, I have never experienced the last 20 years. But if you're saying it can happen, let me give it a shot. And that's where people start with small courses, small programs, and they get some benefit and then grow to next level. They said, oh, then they go to another level. So we also have stages where people grow. People don't come and go directly to the topmost level. They have stages slowly, steadily, because they come from a thought that aisa ho hi nahi sakta, from that's where they come from. But when they see some changes coming in, like for example, we start with an audit. Okay, I mean, simple, na? Just come and get business audited. In audit, we'll tell you what all is wrong and what is the root cause, not just symptom. Symptom, they also know.
Yeah.
Marketing is not working, leads are not coming. Let's say, symptom. So we tell them that you might know the symptom, but you might not know the root cause. So come to us, spend an hour and a half. You know us, we know you. That's our first interaction. Do an audit, and if you don't like it, don't proceed.
Oh, so then you don't move to the next step if you don't find it acceptable.
If you don't like, you don't like. I mean, everybody doesn't like Salman Khan, some like Shah Rukh, some like Akshay. As simple as that.
So acceptance is the first thing here, actually.
Yeah. So you give them a little taste like Baskin Robbins.
Right. Which flavor do you want to have?
If you like it, you take. You don't like it, you go and eat some other, maybe Amul or Manjunis or whatever ice creams are there in the round. So,
But before we dive more into this, just one quick question. Do you think this delay in accepting the actual root cause of the problem can actually make the problems even more deeper?
yes, it's like you are getting fever and you're not treating it. I mean, there could be an infection, and then by the time you get ready to treat it, maybe the infection has increased, and now you need more time, more effort, more energy to solve something. Well, stitch in time saves 9. That works here.
And the immunity also goes down.
It goes down. You lose people, you lose clients, you get stress, you lose money. A lot of people say, I've been doing it for a decade now. So I've got a lot of people who come to me after 4 years, 3 years. I had attended one program for a few years in Bangalore, but I didn't go ahead. But right now I realize that what a mistake I did. So it's okay. I mean,
better late than never.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we have got the best intention, but वो दिन लोगों को समय आना चाहिए. जब जिसका समय आएगा वो अपने आप आ जाएगा.
So, sir, like you said, you've been doing this for over a decade. So, when you say that business need diagnosis before growth, what does it actually mean?
See, before you give any kind of treatment, let's say you grow crops. Let's say you're a farmer, and you realize your produce's yield is not good. So the first thing which you do is your soil analysis. You try and figure out what's wrong with the soil, what is missing, and what was done before, what was done later, and then you do something called soil treatment. But you cannot decide what you're going to do in treatment until you do diagnosis. So you need to figure out the problem first. Most of the business owners, as you were asking earlier, that they listen to some videos and they start applying stuff, they do that. But the point is, if you have not diagnosed, you are doing more expensive trial and error, because now you're buying expensive drugs. You're buying expensive treatment without diagnosis. So when I realized, a lot of businesses come to me who have gone to consultants, they've spent money, and then they've come back, they said, nothing worked. But the point is, they went to people and they got some solutions, but they didn't need that solution. They needed something else. Not the solutions were wrong, not the people were wrong. Everybody is good. Everybody is doing good work, okay? But the point is, that was not what was causing your issue. Find out your problem, find out your issue, find out your challenges, put the right solution.
So when you did this market scanning, when was that time when you decided to create Business Scale-Up Audit?
So it's around a year and a half now. And the reason why I did that when I was getting people for my short-term program, maybe 3-day courses, where I was exposing them to the idea of business management in MSME world, I realized during the conversation, during the breakout rooms, what they were talking were only symptoms and nobody knew the root causes. And then they were trying to learn from my teaching and try to force adopt things and apply in their business. And I said, okay, this I am doing more harm to them than benefiting them. So I said, okay, let's hold that. Let's restart the entire journey. So we went back to the drawing board. We did the entire journey of all our coaches, all our participants. And we said, okay, we will start a program called a business audit, where we'll spend maybe 1.5 to 2 hours only understanding the symptom and the root causes and give it to them. This is what it is. Now you want to solve it yourself. Very, very good. Go and do that. You want to take somebody else's help. Very good. Do that. You want our help. We can also help you. So we started giving audit absolutely at just a throwaway price. That also is to make them serious about the audit.
So that they pay more.
Yeah, when you pay attention. You don't pay attention. That's the only reason, actually.
Human nature.
Yeah.
But now that you say this, when you had these kind of conversations with them, many times founders say, okay, we have sales issue. But it could be that the issue can be with marketing, positioning, or other factors.
Correct.
So what were the biggest blind spots that you noticed that founders were unable to spot in their own businesses? What were they?
See, if I say there are 3 main areas of gap why results are not happening. Number 1, they don't have a concept called marketing in their lives. Okay? They're doing some random activities somehow or the other and try to generate some leads. Actually, marketing is, of course, I'm not going to go deep into it, but if I say there are 3 parts to marketing: visibility, you should be visible, दिखता है तो बिकता है; credibility, people see you enough, they start trusting you; and lead generation. They were doing lead generation. That also they have no analysis, they have no tracking, they have no calculation of return on cost, nothing. They just somehow getting the leads. And most of them are getting leads from word of mouth or customer reference or repeat clients. I always say that word of mouth is luck. So this is one of the biggest area which businesses are missing, that they don't have a proper marketing systems. They don't have lead generation, they don't have credibility setups, they don't have visibility. That is one. Second, their challenge is team. Now they have people working, but they don't have KRA, key result areas. They don't know how to track them. They don't do proper reviews. They are not able to enhance their performance. Maximum is that they can get angry when people don't give results.
So they're not emotionally invested also in a way.
They are not, right? They are not building the team. I always tell this, I build people, people build my business. What they are doing is, they're trying to use the people and get work done. So what happens? Works get done incomplete. But when you build the people, they will take ownership and they will do it well.
Yeah.
That's totally missing. So their team management and team handling is a big mess. Second area. Third area, there are no predefined processes for doing things. जैसी situation आई वैसा काम कर लेते हैं. Now if they're, for example, suppose there are 4 branches, and in 4 branches they've got 4 sales guys. Just example I'm giving you. All the 4 will have their own strategy, their own way of doing things. So there is nothing standardized. Now the issue is, anything to be scalable has to be duplicable. For something to be duplicable, have to be standardized. So there is no standardization. That means nothing is duplicable. हर आदमी हर रोज एक नया आइडिया पे काम करता है, नए तरीके से डील करता है. So nothing can be scaled. Suppose there is one sales guy, only one. He does something standard. Second one comes, learns from him. Third one comes, learns from him. Fourth one comes, learns from him. Everybody learns the best practices. If this A is doing in their own way, B is doing on a C is doing, then there's no standardization. Because of which the scalability always takes a hit. So they have no processes, they have no standardization, and they struggle every day.
You know, that's a very interesting, I would say this key word here, scalability. So in this experience of yours, in this journey of yours, what do you see is the biggest difference between a scalable business versus a business that gets stuck for years?
When they start the business starts moving up. Okay? It goes to a certain level. Now, after this, your personal intelligence exhausts. Then business became stagnated. And then keeps moving like this, the same pace. Sometime it keeps moving for some time and then it starts dropping. The law of nature is that nothing will stay stagnated. Either it will grow or it will degrow. Anything becomes stagnated for a while will start degrowing. That's what happens to them. They take business up for some time and then the business doesn't expand because your personal intelligence has exhausted. Now, I say business is a science. There are ways to do things, but if you learn that science and you apply that science, it will not depend on your personal intelligence. That's what corporates do. They have got so many different intelligent people from different areas coming together, putting their brain together. That's what they call brainstorming. Business tourism क्या है? MSME में मैं और मेरी तन्हाई. तो अक्सर ये बातें करते हैं वो लोग. So basically, it's not going anywhere there. They don't have that pool to brainstorm and find solutions. So what we do is this: we become that pool for them. We offer them hand-holding, coaching, other things, which becomes the pool for them, and then they can get the same benefits which corporates have.
So this is the structured audit conversation.
Correct. Post-audit.
Post-audit.
Post-audit, then who decides to work with us, this is what we offer them. But it's a bypass. So we create a bypass. You don't have it? Okay, we'll provide you. It'll go from outside. We'll give our resources, our people, our coaches, our brains to do the brainstorming which you need to grow your business.
And I think this is where the first initial conversation is important so that you know these are the loopholes that probably we need to
Otherwise,
fix.
I think again generic advice, again generic result, again doesn't go anywhere.
But Dr. Parekh, you have mentioned something very interesting for me because एक कंपनी जब ऊपर जाती है उसके बाद वो माइंडसेट जब स्टैग्नेंट हो जाता है, लेट्स से सर्वाइवल थिंकिंग वाला हो जाता है, दैट वर्सेस स्केल थिंकिंग, हाउ डज वन कम आउट ऑफ दैट लूप?
See, okay, let me tell you, everybody has a vision to scale. Nobody feels like मेरे को छोटा रहना है, right? You know the movies they show, no, वो भागते भागते अमिताभ बच्चन बन जाता है. So everybody thinks it will happen like that. That if you keep running, suddenly someday you'll become something. But that's not the reality of life, right? Same input is same output. If you don't change the input, your output will not change. Then it's like hoping against hope. कि वही करते रहेंगे जो करते आए हैं और वो मिल जाएगा जो कभी नहीं मिला. ऐसा होता नहीं है. वही करते रहो जो करते आए हो तो वही मिलता रहेगा जो मिलता आया है. And if you want to get what you never got, you have to do something which you have never done, for which they don't have any space. So though they have a dream to grow, but they don't have that edge, they don't have that knowledge, they don't have that resources which will help them grow. So somebody can provide that, they will also grow. They have a vision to scale. Everybody wants to grow. सबको बोलो धंधा डबल करना है, सब लोग हाँ बोलते हैं. कैसे करना है?
Outward, matlab everybody is sorted, but internally is something that they are struggling
Correct.
with.
Skill नहीं है.
Skill nahi hai. So, but then now that you say this, tell me what is that one biggest mindset shift? Let's say you would want more MSME founders to have today.
See, I want them to look at business from a scientific point of view. Like simple example. I want to say, for example, I want to command a better price in the market. And there are many players.
Yeah.
They're all similar. How do I command a better price? I can only command a better price. Like, for example, just very simple example. Today only I went and bought a suitcase. There is American Tourister, there is Safari, and there is Samsonite.
Okay.
Suitcase same, no? Material almost same. Trust me, material same. Not that they get material from mass. But I will buy Samsonite because I know that the quality is going to be superior. They have established that in my mind, in everybody's mind. Somebody might not buy because it's expensive and the budget is not there, but budget being no constraint.
If budget.
Yes. I will buy Samsonite. Now, this is branding, this is visibility, this is credibility. Now, they don't know how to create that in their businesses, but they want to command the price of Samsonite. But their branding is not even like Safari, lower than that, invisible. It will not work. I'll give you another example. Today, when I was doing the search for Samsonite, when I put Samsonite there, I got result of Mokobara. Now, Mokobara is a new brand, in luggages. They're doing very well, by the way. When I got a ping of Mokobara, that means Mokobara has even used Samsonite, all the keywords, and they're throwing their ad when you search for Samsonite. But they're putting in effort. Somebody is doing branding, somebody is doing credibility, somebody is doing visibility, somebody is doing lead generation. So even when you put Samsonite, they show there. I mean, you can choose either.
Yeah.
Options are there. But they imagine the amount of money they must be pumping in to come to us in front of such a big brand, global brand. But you can see them. This is what business owners don't understand. And that is the problem, that you need to spend the kind of money, you need to spend the kind of effort and build things in this way, then you can solve your problem. So you do this, you get results.
It's just like buying an iPhone. When you have an iPhone, you have an iPhone. You don't even care about any other factor.
No.
I have an iPhone.
Yeah.
That's what it conveys, right?
Correct.
The brand.
Correct.
So in this journey of yours, when you say you have worked with scalable business as well, tell me, what is that one difference that you notice in the founders of scalable businesses? How do they think differently? What is it about them?
Okay. So, see, I've worked with businesses who have gone from 100 crores to maybe 500, 700,000 crores. Okay. Okay, let me give you an example without telling you the name. Okay. So there was a business which came to us. When it came to us, it was 18 crores. All right. That 18 crore business, in 3 months post starting with us, it was only one client. That client went off from 18 crores to became 0 crores. Okay. Now from there, this business owner has gone up to now 250 crores in the last almost 1.5 to 2 years. Now, how does a business go from nothing to 250 crores in such a short time? And why others don't? Number one, the founder was open to learn. Now, that's a very big challenge with people. Now, there is a voice which comes from inside that I know this. Until the time, and I'm sure many of our viewers also, while listening, they must think, "Arey, mujhe ye suna hua hai, mujhe ye pata hai." And it's natural. But he was able to overcome that thought that I know this and empty his cup is what I call, and this is what I do in my trainings also, that empty your cup, be open to learn. Do not come from the space that ये तो मैंने सुना है, ये तो मुझे पता है. If you're open to learn, then maybe the way I am telling it, what perspective I am coming from, could help you get some ideas. If you just ये सब जानता हूँ मैं, तो then nothing will help you.
You don't need
so, help. Yeah, then you don't need help. Correct. You're right. So one is open to learn.
Yeah.
Second thing is willing to change. Now that's a challenge. I might be willing to do certain things, but willing to change the way I've been operating from last 4, 5, 7, 10, 15, and some for some founders even 20 years. That's a difficult task. For example, I am not willing to change the time I get up in the morning because I'm comfortable sleeping at a given time, waking up at a given time. Similarly, the way I operate my business, I'm comfortable doing in a certain way. तो मुझे change करने में बहुत तकलीफ होती है. Now, the moment founders are able to do these two things, that I'm open to learn and I'm willing to change, transformations happen. Then वो कहानी बोलते हैं, the rest is history. These are the people who create that kind of situation. तो होना चाहिए.
होना चाहिए, but it should come from acceptance, like you rightly said. But if I try to put it in a business language, if you just want to summarize, what were the things that you felt were different after they embraced the fact that they need to change, whether in terms of leadership maturity or strategic delegation? What were some of the factors that you noticed?
Okay. So once you are willing to change and you're open to learn, you will start receiving inputs. The inputs are still coming, but you're not receiving it. So what are the inputs? As I said earlier, the inputs are in three areas. People, process, and strategy. Okay?
Right.
Only these three areas you need. Right people at the right places. You need to have. You can't be doing everybody's job. You know, many businesses, owners are super managers. That means they're accounts manager, they're sales manager, they're marketing manager, they're operation manager, they're everything's manager. Everything comes to them. So the moment they're willing to change, they start building people. Right people at the right roles. Sales guy for sales head. Operation guy for operation head. Accounts guy for accounts head. That's the first step. People. Second is, rather than running business ad hoc, they started putting processes in it. Process could be the way you do it, your systems, your reporting, your weekly measurements, your dashboards, your reviews, process. And then comes strategies. Now, we are able to give strategies only when you have the right people and you have the right process. Otherwise, all the strategies will fail. I always tell this to people that culture will eat strategy for breakfast. If you don't have a process, if you don't have a system, strategies won't work. So first we put people, then we put process, then we start giving them strategy. Strategy for building brand. Strategy for generating leads, strategy for higher ticket size, strategy for onboarding customers, strategy for retaining clients, strategy for upselling, cross-selling, blah, 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 blah. Then the business starts growing, and that's where you go from 0 to 250 crores in 2 years.
So it's like this is like a cricket team. Even if you have the best captain, you need to have other 10 players who are hungry to win the trophy.
Correct. And expert. You know, you are a best captain, so you're a wicket keeper also, and you're a bowler also, and you're a batsman also. I mean, that cannot work, right? Everybody else cannot be your assistant. You must have the right team with right skill sets. And once you have it, you win.
So if I look at it from objectively, I mean, foundation strength is more important than aggressive scaling.
Correct.
If I summarize.
Correct. Only with the foundation and all these things in place, you can scale. Otherwise, you can't scale. Scaling will fail.
Wow. So now that you say this, I think before we wrap this, what is that one honest question you feel that every founder should ask themselves about their business tonight? Everybody listening, what would that be?
Okay. So I know that I'm stuck. Do I know why? And do I know how can I get unstuck? If I ask this question to myself, and search for people who can actually help me to answer these questions. Why am I stuck? And how can I get unstuck? I think this should be a thought in everybody's mind, and they start thinking about it. They start looking for solutions. And that will change the way they operate.
I think that's the biggest takeaway from this
Yes.
entire conversation. But sir, once again, lovely chatting with you. Thank you so much for
Thank
your
you.
time
Most
and
welcome.
patience.
Thank you.